If we do not take steps to neutralize our enemies now, we will lose our window to do so.
This was like one of the most intense movie-going experiences I've had in a while.
Yeah.
Like, this is no bullshit, you know?
I agree. I think people need to say that loud and clear.
Yeah.
The movies like this do not come along very often. I feel that as an actor, I feel that as a viewer, and I love hearing it back. I think people need to be, very strong and clear about what they think about it.
Believe me, we're going to get into that. But Jason, I do have an individual question for you. When did you decide that you wanted to be in everything being released in October? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's The Last Frontier, Murdaugh, Death in the Family, and this.
Yeah.
So when did you decide it was going to just be your month?
I just thought, I'm going to borrow your line. Fuck it. I thought October is going to be big this year, man.
Let's go.
Let's just go. You know what I mean?
Pop it for Jason Clarke, baby.
Next October, I'm going to do an album with him, even though I can't sing.
No.
You know what I mean?
Angelic tones. Let me tell you. Angelic.
You can do the voiceover on the album.
Yeah. Come on. Jason's playing the timbales.
But being serious, I'm a huge fan of Kathryn Bigelow, and the most sincere question I have for both of you is, what do we need to do to get her to make more movies?
We're on it, dude. We're on it. We are, begging her. I mean, I remember walking up one day when I was on set and she's standing there and she looked so happy and just in control of, the things, but just enjoying, you want to see. I said, it feels good, doesn't it, to be back on a set? She said, yes, it does, Jason. It really does. And I said, well, just come on, get back on more sets. You know what I mean? It's a happy place to be, I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one because it's like, I respect her integrity.
Yeah.
Something's really got to grab her at this point in her career for her to feel, but then bang, she comes along and she finds such relevance, such a, immediacy, like a proper artiste, a proper realizateur, somebody who is just gets on the wave, man. And here it is. And you can, and you can't help but feel that this is like, not that it's made to be a statement or not that it's made to be a, a this or a that, but it's like, wow, man.
Yeah.
This is a great reminder.
I mean, there's something special to her not making a lot of movies too. There's something special to her finding the right one and taking her time. But then when she finds it, it's like, all right, boom, all in. Like, let's do as much research as we possibly can. Let's bring in whoever we need to bring in to make this as authentic and as amazing as it can possibly be, so.
But it's been too long, I agree.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yes. I saw her a number of years ago and basically begged her to make another movie. And then it still took many, many more years. But one of the things that I love about the script in the movie is that there's no heroes and no villains. It's just, it's just reality. And can you sort of talk about that aspect?
There's no safe place for us to hide in our own righteousness or our own sense of like, oh, I know, I saw that coming. There's the red herring. No, it continually pairs you back. It pairs you back. And that is, there's not many filmmakers that can do that and do that on this scale of story with this many locations and this size of cast and everything's going on. And like, she's a proper wizard at the peak of her powers. She really is. She's a modern Gandalf, and she's woven it together to land it on a dime. You know what I mean? There's that line of the thing with the bullet hits the bullet. For me, she did hit the bullet at the end and leaves, I think, the audience in the cinema world with a gift.
Yeah, can you both talk about something I was very curious about? Is the camera work's fantastic, and I was so curious how many cameras, because I'm not talking to her, were on set at any given time. Did you, was she like sneaking shots where as actors you weren't exactly sure what was going on, or was everything very figured out?
I mean, figured out to a certain extent, but I think that like she had cameras. I mean, we had. What'd you say? Was it you said?
No, Tracy said there was 20 on him.
20 at him, right?
With little cameras and, screen cameras.
Every camera. In the screen, cameras in the walls, cameras, security cameras. But then there were also, like 3 to 5 cameras set up usually, right? Like there'd be maybe, like 2 on the side, 3 in the front or all 5 set up in the front.
Yeah.
Like just, it was insane. And then each one, like here's a close up of this one, and here's a close up of this person, here's a mid of this person. But then it was like, oh, but there's something interesting going on over here. So then all of a sudden you see this camera move in the middle of the shot. And you know, and as you know, right, in Kathryn's movie, sometimes she'll do those, she'll come in a little bit like in the middle of the shot, right? It's not, you know, it's like here we are, but here's, you know, we coming in on this person, or there's something interesting going on down here. So now we move the camera. She'll keep it, you know, it's just, everything just feels like it's moving constantly in her movies.
Barry Ackroyd sets that up, dude.
Yeah, Barry's
Barry, you know, like all the great DOPs, he can light the whole room beautifully, you know, so that the whole room is in play for the entire time you're shooting it. So there's no readjustments of lighting. And they'll move and they'll talk. So it's all happening in the background. Shit, come on, Sense, you might go over and talk to Anthony and have a little word. But Barry's setting up over there. Everyone's got great liberty and great freedom to find, as you know, with the community. And then, and you often find that these big complex scenes that you're probably stressed about are done. It's shot. And you go, and then there becomes such an ease of like, you know, it takes out the ulcer creating, you know, do you know what I mean? Stress inside you of like, because, you know, every actor wants to perform, wants to give their best and give their all. And it's over, and you've just behaved, you put all the work beside you, and it's just happened, and we've existed. And you go, we were there. You know what I mean? And it's a gift, but it's also very, you know, there's not many DOPs that can light and shoot like that.
Yeah. I mean,
3 cameras most of the time.
Yeah. My last question for you guys, it's an individual for each of you. Jason, I'm very curious about, you made a Wind River sequel, Wind River Rising, and I'm so curious what you can tell people about it. And Anthony, I'm a fan of Ryan Murphy, and I believe you made The Beauty, and that sounds bonkers. So what can you tease people?
Beauty.
Yeah. It's I mean, you know, it's I'm trying to remember what they put in the press release about what the show is about, because I'm not trying to get I don't want Ryan texting me like, yo. I mean, he's not gonna say yo, but you know, in my mind it's you know, it's like WTF, and I'm like, sorry, Ryan. But the show, what I will say is the show has an amazing cast. You know, Ashton Kutcher, Evan Peters, Rebecca Hall, Jeremy Polk. You know, like, I mean, just like a crazy group. And I mean, it's this people are turning into the most beautiful versions of themselves, and then what are the repercussions of that, and what that entails. And I can't remember. I wish I could remember what the press release was, so I could just reinstate that, just say that over. But it's the show is crazy, bro. This honestly it's the most fun I've ever had playing a role, besides In the Heights, maybe, you know. And it's I'm just so excited for people to see this show. The characters are amazing. Ryan's mind, I don't even know how it works that the way it does. He's so brilliant. And man, I'm pumped for people to see this one.
Interesting you should bring that up, Wind River. It's a beautiful movie. It was locked in some legal issues, but it was tied up with Spinal Tap. So Spinal Tap has just come out now, or it's about to. So I think they'll release it. Martin Sensmeyer, it's gorgeous. It really is. It's a beautiful movie, and I hope they release it soon if everything's been sorted out.
On that note, I'm just going to say congrats on this, and thank you for giving me your time. Good luck with your speed dating.
Thanks.
Thank you, man.